And to be honest with you, I've had enough of it. Welcome back to the Sawmill, friends. Let's go split some firewood. You guys hang in there. So 2 days ago, was it 2 days or 3 days ago? Let me see. It was actually 2 days ago. It was on New Year's Eve. It was 65 degrees out here. Today, 31. Crazy weather this year, guys. Some crazy weather. All right, friends. So today is kind of a short work day. I've been working inside this morning doing some end of year accounting stuff. That's always fun. But I stepped out here to finish up 2 things. And the first thing is split up all this sycamore right here that was left over from that log that we sawed up a few weeks ago. The reason this did not get turned into lumber is because it had really bad wind shake. So therefore I just sawed it into blocks and we're splitting it today. And the reason I'm using the splitter on these little blocks is sycamore has an interlocking grain. Check that out. See right there the way it looks when you run it through a splitter? And this splitter, guys, this is a Wood-Mizer FS 500. I can't remember how many tons it is. I'll put it right there at the bottom if I can remember. But this machine is powerful. And this sycamore, guys, is giving this splitter a fit today because sycamore has an interlocking spiral grain. That's why when you saw this up on your sawmill, you need to quarter saw it because look at the grain right there. It just rips apart. That's the way the lumber is going to dry as well if you don't quarter saw it. That's a good example of sycamore and how the grain is just a mess, guys. It's really hard to split. And also, guys, let me give you a little update on the edger. In the last video, some of you guys suggested putting the edger right beside of the sawmill. And I think I may try that maybe in the next few days. So I appreciate that suggestion. I think it's going to work out pretty good, and it will keep the boards from having to be turned a different direction when they come off the sawmill. So let's finish up that firewood real fast, and then we're going to come over here and crank up the sawmill and try to finish up this big walnut that I had a fit with on the last video. So before we start on this walnut, guys, I need to put a new blade on the sawmill and also top off the diesel tank. So real fast, while I'm getting ready to do that, I'll let you guys see a quick summary of what I went through when I first started sawing this log a couple of days ago. You guys hang in there. All right, guys, so the last cut that I made was right here on the very top, and I did hit a nail right there. We got that pulled out, and there's a pretty good chance there's more metal in this log, guys. I'm not kidding about that. When you got a yard tree like this, you start hitting nails, it never fails. You'll hit 3 or 4 before you're finally done for the day. So my sawing strategy right now is going to be come on down from the top right there and do a few 9/4 slabs. And once I get toward the bottom where that void was right there, I think I'm going to leave that about 3 inches thick, turn this thing up on its side, and do some bulb lengths with this little section right in there. I think that's going to be the best strategy to get some decent material out of this log and several slabs. Right now, we have 2 nice live edge slabs. Both of these had nails in them. I pulled them out. So it's not really a total loss, but it is aggravating. And we should get maybe 4 more before we start getting close to that void down there. And I've also got to watch the pith right there, make sure I center that in the slab as well. A lot to think about on a log like this, guys, because it's really valuable. And since it's got metal in it, there's going to be a lot of aggravation that goes with it, especially when you hit those nails. All right, guys, I took a few measurements here off camera. And as long as there's nothing hiding underneath this right here that I can't see on the end grain, we should get maybe 4 9/4 live edge slabs with a minimum width of maybe 21 inches, but it should get to about maybe 28 or 30 inches once we get down deeper into this log. And hopefully there's no more metal in this log. I tell you what, but if I do hit some nails, I'll pull them out and it's part of it. So, just may make for a longer day, just part of it. But this right here, friends, other than the void and the nails, is a fantastic log. Fantastic log, I tell you what. And something that baffles me here, this is a good sized walnut. I think the diameter was like 30 some inches on the small end, if I remember right from the other day. And a lot of the nails have been toward the sapwood here on the outside of this tree. So this tree was in somebody's yard. It's black walnut, which means it's pretty valuable. It's really valuable because of the size of it, and somebody went out there and drove a nail in it. I just have a hard time believing that somebody would not be aware of the value of black walnut and go out there and just drive a nail in it, especially one of this size. I tell you what, it really is disappointing. If this log right here would have went to a large sawmill to be purchased or a log yard, they would have scanned it with their metal detector, and they wouldn't even have bought it. So you'd have really been out some money right there if this was in your yard. Baffles me, I'll tell you what. I don't know why people put nails in trees. I'll never know why. Let's open this one up, guys, and see what it looks like on the inside. And judging by the figure that we had in the last video, there's no water needed on this stuff right here, guys. It looks nice the way it is. Looks very nice. Very rarely do I ever wish I had a bigger sawmill, except for times like these. Let me show you. All right, guys, so that first cut went really good, and there's a small chance for some crotch figure in this slab. And more importantly, there was no nails. And right there toward the top, we may see some crotch figure in the next cut. Key word is maybe. But here's my problem. Where this log kind of swells out right there on the side, it makes it too wide for my sawmill. It makes it about 36 inches right there. And the cut throat on my Super 70 is 34. So, unfortunately, we're going to put this log up on this side and take off about 3 or 4 inches. It's not really a terrible thing, but I wish I could make that wide of cut right there and leave that intact. But that's part of it. So let's turn this one up on its side and make this cut. That way we don't get stuck in the middle, because you will get stuck on a log this size, and that makes for a very long day. That's worse than hitting a nail, in my opinion. All right, guys, so we got 4 slabs out of that log. I got 1 back here on the table and 3 on the sawmill right there. And the best thing about this is, there's 2 good things actually. The first thing is, I was able to center the pith right there on that bottom slab. And the second thing is, we did not hit any metal today. So no nails today, my goodness. That was nice right there. That was some wide saw, and I went kind of slow because on these big slabs, I like to go a little bit slower than usual, and I think that makes for a flatter cut, but you do get more sawdust on your slabs and your bed rails when you do that. It's just my method. You may not like it, you may like it. I don't know, it really doesn't matter to me, but it works out pretty good for my sawmill. All right, guys, so like I said earlier, I got a late start today. I didn't get out here till about 3 o'clock because I spent most of the day doing some end of the year bookkeeping in my office. And I'm not really liking the lighting out here. It's getting kind of cloudy, the sun's setting, and these slabs need better lighting for me to show them off to you guys. So let's come back out here in the morning and finish this up, and we'll saw up some bow blanks as well. But you guys hang in there, it's just gonna be a few seconds. All right, guys, it's the next day, and some of you all may be aware of this. I'm not sure when this video will be posting, but we're supposed to get a terrible winter storm over the next 2 days. It's been snowing for the past hour. It's getting pretty cold out here, but we got some coffee, we're getting the sawmill ready, and we're gonna finish this walnut finally. Let me show you what I got on my mind. I got two 9/4 slabs back here on the table. Those are pretty nice. I got the best ones on the sawmill. That's the ones we cut in the previous video, those three right there. We'll pull those off today and take a look at them. But since it's so cold out here, I'm doubting I'll throw any water on them. I also have two more slabs over there on the loading arms. So here's what we're looking at. And as you guys can see, we got that void right there that I showed you all in the last video that goes all the way to the other end. So therefore, the only usable wood we have in this log that I can see right now is right in there. So I think my best bet, I have two options here actually. I have one option to do bow blanks on this. That's what we're going to do today. The other option would be just saw it down and it's not as wide or have live edges on it. Still have some 9/4 stock. But I think I'm going to do bow blanks because in the previous video, a lot of you guys said you would buy some. So today's going to be your chance. And I was just looking at the weather and it looks like we're supposed to get 3 inches over the next few hours. So hopefully we can get this done before my batteries on these cameras freeze up. I think we'll be okay. So let's get started. Let's saw some bow blanks. right, guys, I got that finished up, and check it out. These two slabs right here are 9/4, 8.5 foot long, and they're 28 inches wide. And man, they look good. I didn't think I was gonna do any water today, but I may go over and get me a bucket of water and throw on this one right here so you guys can see the grain a little bit better. Man, it's nice. Very nice stuff right here. Got limited checking right here on the end, not too bad. Make a few tables out of these and put some bow ties in there and close those up. But I tell you what, even though I had such a hard time with this log with all the nails in it, it was definitely worth it in the end. I lost about 3 blades because of nails, and that's about $75. I can actually resharpen them, but that's really, you know, not a big deal when you get slabs like this out of a log. These are extremely valuable after they're kiln dried. Really nice stuff. Now, I'll show you guys these bow blanks, and I have good news and bad news. We'll do the bad news first. So this right here is the first 2 that I cut, and unfortunately, that void right there is all the way through it, guys. I was hoping I would kind of eliminate that as I was making my cuts down through it, but I couldn't get rid of it. It's just down through the middle and there's no way around it. But I need some more spacers for my slabs over here on the pallet. I'll put this back in the sawmill and cut it at 9/4, and that one right there also. That way we can keep our spacers. And this one right here, guys, actually turned out okay, but my thickness was only, I think, 2 3/4. It's not thick enough for a bow blank, because I was trying to get rid of a defect on the underside. But since we'll use this for spacers and cut it at 9/4, that will make a nice mantle or something once it runs through the kiln here in about a year or so. Now over here on the sawmill is our 2 bow blanks. We should get, or I should get rather, about 20 blanks out of both of these. They're just under 8 inches on the width, I think like 7 7/8 or something like that. And they're 12/4 on the thickness. And guys, they are nice. The grain is pretty straight right there. I don't see any defects or knots or anything going on in most of it. There is one right there on the edge. If somebody puts that on a lathe, they will get rid of that pretty fast, I think. But as long as we don't have any issues when I start cutting this down with my chainsaw, I should have 20 bow blanks out of these 2 right here. 10 per piece right there, hopefully. If you're interested in these bow blanks, there's a link down to my website, and due to the bad weather right now, it may take me a few days to get these in the mail, but as soon as they do go in the mail, you'll get a UPS tracking number shipping notification. All right, guys, I went ahead and threw something else on the sawmill for the next video. This is a tulip poplar. It's a 9-footer. And if I remember right, I think this one has some rainbow in it, but I can't remember. But I'm pretty sure it does. We'll be sawing this into 1x9s and making this into shiplap once it comes out of the kiln here in a few weeks. And I tell you what, that's a big poplar right there. That's the biggest poplar I've sawed in probably a long time, maybe ever. Well, I've been out here in this cold weather since this morning, doing other things off camera you guys didn't see. And to be honest with you, I've had enough of it. It's about 4 o'clock, it'll be dark in about an hour, and I think the wife is making soup for dinner. So I'm gonna head up to the house and start editing this video. So in closing, friends, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you want one of these bulb lengths, there's a link down below in the top comment, also the video description. Once again, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.